Have you ever felt a strange heaviness in your heart, even when everything around you seems perfectly fine? When nothing is visibly wrong in your life, and yet something deep inside you feels unsettled, restless, and difficult to explain? As if your soul is trying to tell you something, but you cannot quite understand what it is. And this feeling does not come from your surroundings, but from somewhere much deeper within you, a place that no one else can see, and that you yourself struggle to fully understand. You wake up, you go through your day, you talk to people, you smile, you continue your routine, you do everything you are supposed to do, and from the outside everything looks normal, maybe even good. Yet at the end of the day there is still this quiet emptiness, this subtle weight that sits in your chest. And no matter how much you try to distract yourself with noise, with work, with entertainment, with conversations, it does not fully go away. Because the problem is not outside of you. It is not your job, not your possessions, not your relationships, not even your circumstances, but something far more subtle and far more important. Something that cannot be fixed by changing what is around you. The truth is, the human heart was not created to be satisfied by temporary things, no matter how beautiful, exciting, or comforting they may seem, because everything in this world is limited, and anything that is limited can never fully satisfy something that was created with an unlimited capacity to feel, to seek, and to long for something greater. And that is why, even when you have everything you once thought you needed, even when you reach goals that you believed would finally bring you peace, the heaviness can still remain, quietly reminding you that something is still missing. You try to fill that space with more comfort, more success, more achievements, more distractions, telling yourself that maybe the next step, the next purchase, the next moment of pleasure will finally make you feel complete. But every time you reach it, the satisfaction fades, the excitement disappears, and you are left once again with that same emptiness, sometimes even stronger than before. And slowly you begin to realize that no matter how much you add to your life, something essential is still not there. What if the heaviness you feel is not a problem that needs to be eliminated, but a message that needs to be understood? A sign that your heart is not where it is meant to be. A quiet reminder that you are searching in places that were never designed to give you lasting peace. Because true peace was never meant to come from the world. It was always meant to come from something beyond it. Something that does not fade. Something that does not change. Something that does not disappear. Your heart was created with a purpose, and when it becomes disconnected from that purpose, it begins to feel lost, even if everything else in your life seems stable and secure. Because stability without meaning is still emptiness, and comfort without direction is still confusion, and success without connection is still a silent kind of failure that no one else may see, but that you feel deeply within yourself. There are moments when this feeling becomes stronger, when you are alone, when everything becomes quiet, when there are no distractions left to hide behind, and suddenly that heaviness becomes impossible to ignore. And in those moments, something inside you begins to ask questions that you usually avoid. Questions about purpose, about meaning, about where you are going, and why you feel the way you do. And in those quiet moments, you realize that what you are running from is not the world, but yourself, or more accurately, the distance between your heart and the one who created it. Because no matter how far a person goes, no matter how much they achieve, no matter how much they accumulate, if the heart is distant from its creator, it will always feel incomplete. And this is not a flaw in you, it is part of how you were designed, so that you never become fully attached to a temporary world, so that you always feel a pull towards something greater, something more real, something that can truly satisfy the deepest parts of your being. The heaviness in your heart is not there to break you, it is there to guide you, to pull you back, to remind you that there is more to your existence than what you see on the surface, more to your life than what you experience day to day, and that the peace you are searching for is not lost. It is simply being searched for in the wrong direction. And once you begin to understand this, everything starts to make sense in a way it never did before. Imagine a heart that is constantly chasing, constantly searching, constantly trying to fill itself with things that were never meant to complete it, moving from one distraction to another, from one temporary relief to another, always hoping that this time it will be enough. How could such a heart ever find rest? How could it ever feel peace? Unless it turns back to the source it was created for, unless it reconnects with the one who knows it better than it knows itself. And the moment a person begins to turn back, even slightly, even with hesitation, even with uncertainty, something begins to change. The heaviness does not disappear instantly, but it begins to soften. It becomes lighter, more understandable. Because the heart recognizes that it is finally moving in the direction it was always meant to move towards. And that small shift can begin to transform everything. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to fix your entire life overnight. Sometimes, all it takes is a moment of sincerity, a moment where you stop running, a moment where you reflect honestly, a moment where you ask yourself what your heart is truly searching for, and whether you have been looking in the right place all along. Because real change does not begin with action, it begins with awareness. So the next time you feel that heaviness, do not ignore it. Do not try to silence it. Do not run away from it. Instead, sit with it, listen to it, understand it, because it might be the most honest part of you trying to guide you back to where you truly belong. And the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. And the clearer it becomes, the easier it is to take the next step. And maybe that step is small. Maybe it is simply turning your attention inward. Maybe it is reconnecting in a way you have not done in a long time. Maybe it is allowing yourself to feel something deeper than what you have been used to. But whatever it is, it matters. Because every step in the right direction, no matter how small, brings you closer to a peace that does not fade and a sense of purpose that does not disappear. And if this message reached your heart, if you felt something while listening, then do not ignore that feeling. Because not every reminder comes without a reason. And sometimes, the very feeling you are trying to escape is actually the beginning of something much greater, something that could change your life in ways you cannot yet see. If you want more content that speaks to your heart and helps you reflect on your life, like this video and follow the channel.